Welcome everybody to another fireside chat with PackView. My name is Alex Jude. I'm our Director of Product Solutions, and I've got the privilege to be on today with Freddie from Toucan, who's going to walk through what finding success on Amazon looks like. And so without further ado, I'll pass it over to Freddie and he'll walk us through that.
Great. Thank you, Alex, and thanks for the chance to discuss what success looks like. I mean, that's what I spend a lot of my day-to-day. We're an agency that specializes in helping brands find more success on Amazon, and success means different things to different people. Most of the time it's increasing their sales, but it can lead into lots of different things. I think a good takeaway that I see a lot is, and I can get into specific factors. I've kind of got like a 10 bullet point list to go through, is just to try and do all of them well. I find that brands and sellers on Amazon overemphasize on an individual factor at the expense of others that fall through. So you may be like an A+ on ads, and you may have your PackView like totally dialed in, but if your fulfillment is garbage and your IPI score is terrible, like it doesn't really matter. So I would encourage you to be good at everything, rather than being excellent and at the expense of others. I don't know, does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the interconnectedness of the entire Amazon ecosystem can't be prioritized enough, and all of these things speak to each other in the Amazon ecosystem. And the better you are at any of them helps the others. They amplify against each other. So it's a fantastic point, and I think it's one that can't be talked about enough, of making sure that you're doing everything you can to make the areas that mean the most to you work the hardest for you, which means you've got to do everything else well as well.
Yeah. Another thing that I typically share with prospects is, again, success, increasing sales, that is going to come at the expense of your competition. So I believe strongly that Amazon is a demand fulfillment platform. So people go on Amazon to buy products that they know about, and even better, like the old adage, know, like, and trust people are going to do business with you. So they've already got their Prime account or whatever, and they're going on there to buy their product. I get it. Some prospects in the door that they've got some sort of blue ocean thing, and it's going to be the greatest next thing or whatever. And not that it's not, but Amazon's just not a great channel for that. So once you kind of grasp your hands around, there's a limited, the analogy I use is like a piece of pizza. I just love pizza. So if you want to increase your sales, you got to grow your slice of the pie. And there's some little tricks that I do, like with seller feedback. I don't know if you want to do like a screen share or something, Alex, but typically I'll go through like a prospect's main competitor and just divide their seller feedback score by 0.5%, because I think that's a fair approximation, and that gets you how many units are being ordered a year, and then you can multiply that by your AOV, average order value, and kind of get you in the ballpark of where they are in terms of sales. So you can say, okay, I'm at whatever 10 million a year. My competition, I might think they're at 50 or whatever, and that means the markets is at 100. So if I want to grow to the next level, you're taking away sales from others, but at least you have some sort of idea or context around how much bigger your competition is.
Yeah, feel free at any time to walk us through any examples that you want. And in the spirit of that, any advice or guidance based on like brand development on how brands can think about kind of approaching this competitive type of lens? Like what are some of the levers you think are most impactful or most efficient for a very highly developed brand, right? So they may have 20, 30, 40 share of a category versus a new entrant or a brand new brand or very niche. Are there different types of assets or levers that you think should be pulled differently or should be thought about first in that different arena?
Yeah, there's a number of things, kind of like what we're both talking about. Certainly just brand in general. Like one of the first things I'll do is I'll Google, when prospects come to the door, I'll just Google them and find out, who they are, what's their annual sales, what's their social following. And I try to answer the question, like, what makes this brand special? Like, are they super premium? Are they like, with all the logistical issues going on in the world, are they made in we focus on mostly Amazon.com in the US because they take up about 70% of all sales on Amazon. So manufacturing domestically is I think an edge up today. I don't know how that changes tomorrow, but yeah, if you don't have a brand to stand behind, that's gonna make increasing your sales more challenging. I see the days of arbitrage or really small mom and pops. Not to say that they don't find success, but I see that becoming more challenging over time. But assuming you've got some sort of brand stature, notoriety, typically I'll look at like their product page setups, do basic stuff, look through product title, image utilization. Are they using like lifestyle? Are they set up on brand registry with video and A+ content? Are their bullets benefit driven as opposed to feature? So not just like size and dimensions, but like, how is this product gonna help the consumer? Could I see, if I was their target market, could I see myself like using the product? It was something for a car or whatever else. I try to see what kind of emotional plays and factors are on there. I look at their fulfillment options. Definitely want them to be on FBA. If not, it's just going to make life more challenging. I know around Q4 that becomes strained as there's limited availability. But yeah, certainly on there. I'd like to see how many other sellers are competing for the products in the buy box. But typically, I try to start with brands that have like 5 or less, but there's a lot of brands out there that have like 47 other people that are hawking their product, and I think that speaks to how well they have their inventory and their distribution under control. If they're just letting everybody sell anything anywhere at really any price, I think that speaks to a higher level about the sophistication and the thought that's gone into how they want to approach Amazon and probably to a larger extent other channels. And then that kind of dovetails into our interests with working with them on Amazon. So there's a couple things about fulfillment. In general, we try and shy away from products that we expect would have higher returns or refunds. I think that just adds friction to your sales. So if you're selling whatever, again, 10 million a year or a month or whatever it is, and you've got like, say you're in shoes or clothing or something, apparel, and you're at like 12-16% returns, it's just a lot to have all of that product coming back in, and it's not all going to come back into Amazon. The customers are going to return some of that to the client. So just trying to conceptualize and think through a lot of this stuff at once.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So the $1 million question, everybody's been talking about it forever, as it seems, and even more important now with everything that's going on in the world with transportation costs, commodity pricing, input pricing, et cetera. How do you guys think about profitability and incrementality on Amazon? What metrics are the most meaningful, ROAS versus ACOS versus the variety of other ones are out there? And what advice do you have for how to think about those different metrics and true incrementality and profitability on the platform?
Ooh, good question. I thought you said you were going to ask easy questions. Yeah, so I get that asked by prospects, maybe not as directly as that. I think it kind of comes back to what makes sense for the prospect or the client. So and that gets into the maturity of the business, like where they are in their growth life cycle. So you can think back to like your business management days. Like, are they a cash cow and they're just trying to extract maximum profitability, versus are they a newly formed VC funded agency that or brand that's in consumables, and they've got cash to burn and they're in high growth mode. So those are kind of like two ends of the spectrum. Most of the people fall somewhere in between, and whatever and wherever they are, we try and align our recommendations and execution on Amazon up with them. So if you're more aggressive in nature, then you probably have a higher ACOS tolerance and will want to spend more to grow your product reviews, your seller feedback, increase your inventory metric. Yeah, as opposed to a cash cow, and you're just trying to maximize profitability. You probably want to look at like your FBA fulfillment fees. Maybe if you were packaging products in standard size cartons and packages rather than oversized, you save 5% on your costs, and that's money in your pocket if you're not going to be selling anymore. And conversely, with ads, you probably think about investing more in brand ads as opposed to generating new customers. And again, back on the other side, I think it's important. I talk with a lot of prospects about the lifetime value of the Amazon customer. So if you're in growth mode and you're relatively unknown brand, somebody buys your product once, how many more times are they going to come back over the next 5, 10, 20 years or whatever that is? And Amazon's just a great way to introduce, for those kinds of brands, introduce new customers into your brand, and you're going to get repeat business on your website as well as other other channels as well. So it really kind of depends. I guess is ultimately my answer.
No, tons of great information, and you're absolutely right. It is so specific to that brand and where they are in their journey, and what their objectives are for that platform and what role Amazon is meant to play. So tons of great information there. I've appreciated this chat. As we tie it up here towards the end, any final thoughts, top 2 or 3 tips and tricks? Where can they find you in Toucan if they want to reach out, if a brand's seeing this?
Well, obviously, if I'm doing this on the PackView channel, I've got to plug PackView, not only because you're awesome, but just because it and this is just being 100% transparent and honest. I feel like as a seller on Amazon, if you're going to do one thing well / really well, it's in advertising. We found that brands that and sellers that choose to invest in the kind of systems and processes that PackView makes available, just it's kind of like an unfair advantage that you have over the competition. Just, in a basic example, to do like hour parting, we see like a lot of our competitors, they just blow through their daily budget, and rates typically are going down throughout the day, so we can take advantage of that. So certainly, if it's not PackView or whatever platform you're on, I would encourage you to really dig into what kind of system you've got set up to maximize your advertising on Amazon. As far as other things, I mean, we get questions about like international expansion, looking at other kinds of channels, importance of like Amazon store, which like I talked with a brand yesterday. They were doing 50 million a year on Amazon. They want to do 75 this year, and they were talking about store. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's not that it's not relevant. It's just a small, again, think about your piece of the pie. You want to grow 25, store might be able to get you 1 or half of that, but most of the people browse and buy through search on Amazon, and I think store isn't that important. Same thing kind of when I think about international. Again, Amazon's at 70% of total sales, and yeah, international can help increase, but if there's still a lot of meat left to grow your US sales, then you don't have to get products on the water and worry about distribution and VAT and whatever else going on out there. Yeah, just try to think about like what you're really good at as a brand and do that well. Yeah, so I don't, a couple specifics and maybe one more vague there to close that out. Yeah, if anybody wants to find out more about us, just check us out on our website. It's Toucan Advisors, toucanadvisors.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time. It's always a privilege chatting with you, and thank you for the kind words about PackView. We appreciate your partnership over at Toucan and excited to do this again soon.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the opportunity to chat. Thank you.